Nazi F.I.T. experimentation. The beginning. The Nazi fungal infestation testing started before the war began. It was unique compared to the other Nazi experiments. This could probably be one of their most sick and twisted experiments. The story you are about to hear is 100% real. Experimentation. It all started with strange behavior in ants. Yes, ants. Nazi scientists found strange behaviors with ants after they became into close contact with a certain fungi. This behavior inspired some of them to research this further. Most of their research was based on different species of zombie fungi. They tested each and every zombie fungi they knew of on ants to see which would be the most powerful. Next, they tested chemicals to see if they could make it even more powerful, and to find antidotes. No antidotes were found, but a certain chemical, not known because there was a red smudge in the area of the chemical name, made the fungi even stronger. First test subject. They finally perfected the chemical and mixture on ants. They called it Zombex. They wanted to try it on dogs. The outcomes were gruesome. The dog's eyes would dilate. It would foam around the mouth and have extreme muscle spasms. The dog would soon become to get weaker and weaker before passing out for a day. While it slept, hair on the top of its head would fall off and skin would peel from the bottom. White pus-like substance would softly seep out of where the skin used to be. Oddly enough, that was where the injection point was. Small little fungi would start to grow in that area. When the dog had woken up, it would act in a calm nature, as if nothing had happened, which puzzled scientists. It would not eat, sleep, or anything. It would just stay there, sitting there, as more skin peeled off and more pus substance would seep out. Every time a scientist would get near, the dog would let out a soft moan as if trying to speak, which broke many scientists' hearts. Most of the scientists resigned. During the week period, they did some blood tests. The blood was thick and white, full of fungal spores. After a full week, the dog's flesh would have rotted off, covered in fungus. It was missing an eye by now, and half of its lower jaw was missing. It was a pure nightmare. Complete horror no normal mortal could create with their imagination. Yet, it acts as if it is not affected, just sitting there, almost no sign of mortality. There's one large fungus growing out of the injection point. We think it's the function will be the spread to the spores. After a day, the big fungus had burst, killing the dog and sending a gas of these spores into the air. 10 out of the 12 made it out alive. The 2 that weren't infected were locked up and observed for human testing. Human testing. Now that they had 2 infected test subjects, they could observe to see the effects on humans. It was slightly different. Due to their brain being more highly advanced, 5 scientists left, thinking that it was too inhumane, leaving only 5 to observe. They watched the human test subject closely. The subjects were confined in the same cell together to see the interactions between each other. The process of infestation was longer as expected. This story will continue in another chapter. Keep tuned for more of these horrifying stories, or if you want to find out if the experimentation worked. Goodbye. Ha ha ha.